Yeah, members of the media, you can raise your questions. It's question time.
Right, Ravi, now a number of the member of the team has described the team as unique. So to what extent do you think that the band of activists will appeal to the voters and the Singapore public?
I would say that first of all, we are all not activists. And Roy has gone into activism, and Gilbert, I have fought in the courts for a long time. What I will say, the strength of them is that it is actually, when Roy was participating in the CPF protests, the crowd was about 5,000. That was historic. So that itself is a testimony. When Gilbert started, he also had about 6 to 7,000 people turning up at Speaker's Corner. It was a roaring and unequivocal success. So if that is not a testimony, ordinary people don't turn up in Speaker's Corner. It was only a few hundreds. But these two protests show that a lot of people, and there were changes, and this was welcomed by the people. So we have a variety of energy in the team, I would say, not just activists.
Can I just jump in and say, this is not a protest movement. As I said earlier, we are going to Parliament with a serious purpose to get the government to provide answers, to serve Singaporeans, to make lives better, for a better tomorrow. So we are not going there to heckle, to protest, to throw eggs. We are going there seriously.
But then again, Ravi, those numbers that you mentioned, 5,000, 10,000, I mean, you can be certain that those will be translated into votes.
I think what we would like to offer the Singaporeans is that we have a history and a track record of speaking out for Singaporeans and actually serving Singaporeans. Gilbert has worked with low-income and unemployed Singaporeans. Siva has worked with low-income Singaporeans as well. So we want to continue to do this outreach. As to whether voters would support us or not, our track record and our experience will show them what we would do and what we have done, and I hope that this will convince them. We believe that even though after having spoken up and after having helped Singaporeans, we want to go into Parliament, we are serious to go into Parliament, we want to be able to debate on policies and to look at how we can strengthen the policies to help Singaporeans. So this is what we can offer to Singaporeans based on what we have done before and our experience and expertise. And we do hope that this will convince Singaporeans, and whether or not Singaporeans will vote for us, the polls will show. Some parts of Ang Mo Kio have been quite open and receptive, so we think we'll put up a good fight.
Gilbert, I just want to ask you, a number of your team members have spoken about immigration. Is this team in Ang Mo Kio Reform Party running on an anti-immigration platform?
I think we have said, can I answer on behalf of the Reform Party? What we have said is that we are not xenophobes, we are not anti-foreigners, we are not racists. What we do believe is that Singaporeans are not getting a fair deal from this government. We have proposed a cap on the total number of foreign workers in Singapore. Let me remind you, it's become apparent over the last 10 years that the PAP have no other economic strategy, than to bring in cheap labor to generate economic growth.
It's okay.
Their policies have failed to make Singaporeans better off. Our productivity has been stagnant or negative for the last 4 years. We've lagged badly behind other advanced countries. So what we are about is creating better jobs for Singaporeans, higher value-added jobs, and moving away from this reliance on cheap labor.
Yeah, can I say something? Respond to what this report is asking. I think we want to represent us as a voice, a loud voice for Singaporeans. Because I feel that even in the PAP team, right, you don't see many MPs that are speaking out as loudly as Roy, myself, or Ravi. Right, we are a very loud voice. Many people know us. Even as we walk about in Ang Mo Kio, they know, are you Gilbert? Are you the one that speak against a certain policy? I think Roy is definitely more much more visible because we are loud. Right, we are seen as the people's voice. We are not here, and we are not nobody. Right. I'm not saying we are somebody, but we have been visible. We have been speaking out, and we want to be a voice. Right. I think in any party or any team that you see, there isn't people like Roy there, or Ravi there, or Gilbert there. Right. So the three of us, or Osman there. So the few of us forming out, I think we are a force to be reckoned with. Right. We're seen as a voice for the people. Whether, like Roy said, that translates into votes, I can't promise you. Yes, some of them see us as troublemakers. Some of them see us as people who, raise our voice and protest. But yet, many others see that as a good advocate for policies that are not spoken well in Parliament. Even for the PAP MPs, they have not spoken much against the white paper. But people like Roy, Ravi, Osman, they have been campaigning hard at Homling Park for the past 3 years. Right, I think this speaks for itself. Right. Thank you.
Question. So what then, would you say is your common platform for the Ang Mo Kio team? Because because a lot of you, are campaigning for different issues and have stood for different issues. So, is there a common platform that the Ang Mo Kio team is, sort of pushing for or standing for?
Yeah. Our platform has been set out in our 7 pledges and in our manifesto, which will appear soon. But our main policy strands are return CPF at 55, an old age pension for seniors of $500 a month, child benefit for mothers with children, for each child under the age of 16 of $300 a month, a minimum wage, a cap on the total numbers of foreign workers, and a COE system which employers buy entitlements to bring in foreign workers. And finally, we want to give Singaporeans, we want to get to the bottom of how much our reserves are, because nobody can tell. There appear to be serious discrepancies in the accounts, and we want to give Singaporeans a share.
How will you propose paying for all the policies that you outlined?
Well, I think we mentioned the old age pension. It's less than 10% of the surplus on the government's own figures. Yeah, we don't need to cut defence. In fact, we would favour keeping defence spending where it is. What we want to do is to reduce the unfair burden on Singaporean males of national service and reduce that and have a more professional army.
So, there's been some people might say that, or have doubts about how well the team will work together, given that a lot of them are new faces, a lot of them only just joined the reform party. So, how have you arrived at this composition? One and two, how is the team working at the moment?
Well, I think we've already explained it in my introduction. I've known several of them for many years. These are serious, committed people who have worked on the ground, a balance of people who've spoken up on national issues, like Roy and Gilbert, internationally respected human rights lawyers, like Ravi, a grassroots leader and filmmaker, Siva, and financial expert or financial professional, Jesse, and Osman, who has deep roots in the Malay community and is a small business owner. So it's a well-balanced team. But let's turn it around and say, apart from the Prime Minister, who will be PAP team contesting in Ang Mo Kio. We have we've got a game show host, a candidate who lost previously. There's only one minister in Ang Mo Kio, and he's deeply unpopular.
The first time you ran in Ang Mo Kio in 2011, you said it was because you believe that the Prime Minister should face the vote, and you felt that Ang Mo Kio residents should at least be given the right to vote last election. So is this purpose still relevant today?
Of course, it's an abomination that there should be any walkovers. I think when we contested in West Coast, there were several. There was a woman I remember who flew in from China who said, "Thank you for giving us the chance to vote after so many years." People said, there was another old lady who said, "I hope to be given the chance to vote before I die." Yeah. Okay. Maybe next question.
Wants to ask the next question.
Earlier today, Mr. Osman Sulaiman posted on Facebook asking for a proposal seconders and a center. So,
You want to
what's
answer?
happening behind that? And is the team confident of having at least 6 people from
Actually, we have already found all the centers. After I put up my post on Facebook, we received a few a few inquiries about volunteers and how they can contribute. And currently, we have fixed up the centers, proposers, and seconders. And any others will be bonus, as it is a spare in case one cannot turn up on. But the response has been very good, and of course. Social media will also play a part in our finding for volunteers and sponsors, or for whatever campaigning period that we need people to run this campaign with us.
Is the PM ward, and you're up against a very strong incumbent. So, what do you think of people referring to your team as suicide squad?
Yeah, I think there might be differences of opinion over how strong the incumbent is, but we can only speak for maybe Osman, Roy, and Siva. Gilbert would like to answer for the response on the ground.
I think in every democracy there have been very strong candidates in the opposing team, and of course this is the Prime Minister, but history has shown that the voice of people have taken on the might of any government and has shown that. I don't think so we are a suicide squad. I think we present a different energy. I think that compared to in the past, you could say that some teams who faced the Prime Minister was a suicide team. But in the present elections, I think we are a wonderful energy and a powerful one to be reckoned with, and we believe. And I think your question will be best answered on the polling day itself.
I think the team has discussed extensively about what we would like to do, and all of us are committed to running, and all of us are committed to serving. All of us have the heart and the passion to do it, as have been shown over the past few years. So I can speak for the team that we do not think in terms of the question that you posed. We think in terms of how we can go into Parliament, how we can help to fight for Singaporeans, how we can speak up for Singaporeans. So we are taking ourselves very seriously, and we are taking this fight very seriously. We do respect the Prime Minister for what he has done, but the Prime Minister is just like any of us, an ordinary Singaporean. We are speaking up for Singaporeans, we are standing as Singaporeans, and as Singaporeans we want a fair chance, and we want the voters to have a fair chance at voting and selecting people who they believe will represent them.
I know a lot of you spoke about your track record in social activism, but a lot of the past protests and campaigns have also been pretty controversial. So do you think that the negative, like the press and publicity, may affect you negatively? Is that a concern?
Yeah, I think I've probably held about 10 or 12 events at Hong Lim Park. So of course, the attendance range from 5,000 to 500. So I would say Singaporeans are by and large still not so adjusted to doing such open events where we come together to go against the policy. We are trained since young, from school to NS, to be compliant, to be obedient, to say yes, if it's a bad policy, okay lah. We trust the government. But I think right now people are not so compliant anymore. 5,000 people turn out at the CPF event, 6,000 at the population white paper. The last 3 years I counted more than 20,000 people attended events at Hong Lim Park. This is unprecedented. Nothing has been similar to these events for the past 3 years. There's a movement that's sweeping Singapore right now. There's something that moves in Singapore right now, and I think it will move further after 11th of September. Because Singaporeans are fed up. Because Singaporeans are not happy. You can vote for the politicians once every 5 years, but in between the 5 years, there's nothing you can do. But when activists like Roy, Osman, Ravi, myself hold an event, they will come because they are also earnest. They want change, right? They want to do something with the country. They don't want to just wait once every 5 years and vote. They want to be an agent for change. They want to be people who do something for change. So I believe the next 5 years, we'll see more Singaporeans coming out. We'll see more social activists. We'll see more going online to start blogs, to speak against the policy. And I think we'll see more people coming forward when we hold events at Speaker's Corner.
I would like to add on to Gilbert on the question about negative publicity on controversial protests and so on. I think this is something that we need to contend with. We have a state-controlled media that has an agenda and that portrays this sort of campaigns negatively. That's part of our challenge. And the Reform Party believes in freedom of expression. And even J.B. Jeyaretnam, whom we revere so much, had gone through so much of negative publicity during his time. He didn't have Facebook. He didn't have anything. The media was hounding him. But one man whom we truly remember made a significant change in Parliament despite all the negativity. And you know what? Who turn up at the Speaker's Corner? It is people from the online media who at least have the online independent perspective turn up. The fact that they turn up itself shows one thing, that there is consciousness in Singapore right now, the people's consciousness. And that is something that the government is trying to sideline. But with the online media, we hope to have a balanced view and changes just around the corner.
So just now, Roy, you said that everyone should be protected. So will you be interested in speaking up in the parliament if you are elected about the exploitation of migrant workers?
So I believe in a fair, just and equal society. So I believe that anyone who resides in Singapore should have an equal chance at being protected. I think if you look at research, it shows that where a society is more equal, you get people who are happier, people who are more engaged in society, people who will contribute back to society. Social mobility will increase. There will be a high level of trust. The country as a whole will get better as a whole. So for me, it is not about putting individuals in different boxes. It is about really looking at how we can create policies that will be fair to all in Singapore so that everyone will benefit. I think there might be sentiments among some people that certain pool of people are discriminatory, for example. But if you speak to Singaporeans, what they're really concerned about is if Singaporeans are protected, they will also reach out to protect other people as well. Because that's what human beings do, right? So right now, Singaporeans feel that they are not being fairly protected by the government or equally treated. Our team and the Reform Party believes that we need to treat Singaporeans equally and fairly so that as a whole, our society will benefit together.
I'd just like to add on that exploiting migrant workers undermines Singaporeans' own working conditions and wages. That is why we want higher employment protections, and we want a minimum wage, so that employers cannot undercut it by bringing in cheaper labor.
And I would like to also add up that let me reiterate that the team is not against any foreigners. We have never said to anyone on any platform that we are against foreigners. No, it is the policy of 6.9 million that we are against at. As you know, your MPs in Parliament all voted yes towards the population white paper. So who else if not the people to speak up for you? Who else if not us to speak up for you? Because we have a team of Parliament who voted yes even though it's detrimental to the society. They have not even deliberated at length about the ill effects of 6.9 million population. Now our party stand on this 6.9 million population is that we cap it at the current level. We are not saying no, we drive away all the forests. No, never. It has never happened. So the question to ask whether we are xenophobic, it just doesn't hold water, because it is the policy that is making Singaporeans living in hardship, and we are here to speak up. Yeah.
Mr. Jeratnam, could you give us an update on whether a party is still contemplating contesting in Pioneer? Any updates that's happening?
Well, we have the basis, I think, which I said yesterday at the press conference. At the unity talks, we agreed to give up Pioneer on the basis that NSP was sending a strong candidate, Steve Chia, to Pioneer. But now that he's withdrawn, we feel we have a strong claim to contest there. However, we do not wish to enter a three-cornered fight. That's all we. We are trying to talk to NSP about it.
So, for example,
that's all I wish to say on that matter. Thank you.
But will there be an unveiling of candidates? Because they won't be unveiling theirs until nomination day.
That's all I've said. But we've registered our interest. We are. We're waiting to hear from NSP as to who they'll be fielding.
So this is your final slate of candidates?
Yes, before nomination day. But, I would like to say, obviously, there may be some last-minute changes, but hopefully this will be the final team of candidates.
Just two brief questions. Firstly, you've mentioned a lot of national issues. Anything specific towards the Ang Mo Kio ward that you hope to be able to bring forward to the table if you are elected?
Can I?
And sorry, just one more question. You've spoken about how you're going to manage town councils more efficiently. Could you just elaborate a little bit into that?
Yeah. Can I just say also, I've got an extensive background in financial management and financial compliance. So rules regarding money issues will be second nature to me, and conflicts of interest. We also have some experience. There was one of our advisors on town councils is here today. I don't know whether he's in the audience. Herman Eiselman, his wife used to run the Hougang Town Council in the 1990s. So we have a great deal of experience that we can draw on in terms of town council management. We also, I think, Kumar Apabu, our candidate in Radin Mas, explained yesterday that he has a background in the construction industry and project management. So we don't anticipate a problem. Yeah, and we also, specifically for Ang Mo Kio, perhaps Siva, you would like to answer on your experience with the local, as an RC member.
Okay, let me clarify. I'm not an RC member. I'm an RC manager. Okay, I was an RC manager. Okay. Okay, because I still walk around the ground, so I still do feel I'm the manager yet. Still, okay. So, okay, basically your question for talking about what we will be doing for Ang Mo Kio. Okay, I would like to tell you all, since you all have so many cameras, place your camera and go to the rented blocks and talk to the resident, and you will know what we are tasked to do and what we are responsible to do. There are so many people out there, like what I said previously, just now. $30 voucher. Yeah. Okay. There is this thing called meal voucher, $30 per month. Okay, given by the RCs. That means the GRC is basically telling that you just have to sustain with $1 per day, because 1 month they are only given $30 for the needy. Okay, so these have to be changed. I mean, we know how much is the food price and everything. So that means we are just giving a $30 voucher just for the fun of, for the sake of giving. Okay, and Okay, and lot of if you walk through, okay, for me, my main concern is the senior citizen, because Ang Mo Kio has a very huge amount of aging population. Okay, and a lot of these senior citizens actually abandon their families, as I previously said. For some reason, they feel that they are a burden and a kind of thing. And these people, right, should be taken care of, because I think that's also the country's responsible. If they abandon by their children, doesn't mean that the government should abandon them. The government is responsible, because these people have contributed for our nation as well. Okay, it's not about putting banners and celebrating SG50. It's about celebrating these people. So that's what I believe. And given a chance to enter parliament, definitely we will make a change. It's not about what experience we have. It's not about what we know. Okay, but we truly have the passion to serve, and we have an honest heart, and we will definitely be truthful to our voters. Any question?
Yeah. Shall we close then? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Keep us the mandate.